this evening, but multiple downpours with multiple hail cores have developed. The ones that have a bunch of hail are the ones that are developing the strongest and have the largest hail at this time. We've got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, one in northern LaFleur County extending east into Sebastian, including the south side of Fort Smith, Fiena Hills. They're on Zero Street, Phoenix Avenue, right at the airport, even getting close to Fort Chaffee, that north entrance and Chaffee Crossing, south into about Hackett. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning, and we still have the severe thunderstorm warning for Scott County. This is where our largest hail is falling right now, north and east of Waldron. We're watching this cold front move in from the west, and as it does so, it'll drop the severe threat. But for now, several downpours are out there, and they'll continue for the next probably 2 to 3 hours. We've got a lot of graduations taking place. Poto's got their graduation. Northside's got theirs. Greenwood, that's just to name a few. And we'll be watching some more downpours coming in from the west here for a while. Time right now, 5:42, and so we at least have another 2 hours. That puts us at what, 7:42, getting close to 8 o'clock, which a lot of those, that's when the graduations will try to start. But the front's coming in from the west. Let's take a closer look at some of these cells. We've got a pretty good cell where we've had 2 cells come together as one, and it's still chugging along pretty healthily. We've got a good hail pocket and lightning pocket right along the Arkansas River. So we've got the spiral mounds about here. It's pouring at the mounds. You go to the bottoms, river bottoms. You got Arcoma. We've got rain coming in for us. Rain's already entering Fort Smith. The hail core and that lightning core still back off towards the west, coming eastbound. Pecola, north into Arcoma. That's where we're going to be watching the next hail pocket come in. And then we've got several of the dealerships on the south side of Fort Smith. We're going to be watching some of this hail too. You go into Spiro and Panama, more cells back west. These are not as strong. We've got a little bit of lightning west of Panama and Shady Point trying to come in, and also more downpours south of Poto. We'll take a closer look at Poto in a moment. But this storm will continue to press into Sebastian County. If you live in Barling, if you live in Greenwood, you live in Fort Smith, watch out for this cell. This cell is moving about 30 miles per hour, so when we go ahead and track it eastbound, kind of give us a rough update of what we expect across Sebastian County. So coming into Barling here right at 6 o'clock, so in about 18, 17 minutes or so. Greenwood 612, Mansfield 620, Charleston coming into town are close to 6:30. These things are moving slow. They're only moving about 20 to 30 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour at best. These are slow movers, just dropping a lot of rain and dropping some hail too. Let's take a look at some of that hail pockets that are moving eastbound. One main pocket right along the river. This is going to come into the south side of Fort Smith, up and down Garrison, and then once you head south towards Towson and Zero Street, Phoenix Avenue, we're going to get it. That Zero Street Walmart, south into the dealerships. That's where this hail core is tracking right now. So far, it's still in Sequoia and LaFleur County. We still have about, let's say, 8 minutes or so before it starts to come in. So just a handful of minutes away before this thing comes in. I think most of the hail should stay away from Rock Island for now. So this severe thunderstorm warning may actually be tilted a little bit farther towards the north over time if it keeps its more easterly trajectory coming into the south side of Fort Smith. Most of the hail should stay south of downtown. So if you live on the north side High School, there towards where you got the county fairgrounds off towards the north, you've also got Barling and headed north towards Van Buren. Hopefully this hail stays just towards your south. Here's the big storm though. It looks like we just got a new scan. Just a new scan where this hail core is dropping off. We've had some hail in Hahn, Oliver, started in Oliver, and then came right over Waldron. We've had some hail. We had some reports. We even got some pictures. Kind of look like a mothership rotating in the sky. Most of the rotation on these storms is high up. And when you get higher up rotation, you help sustain the updrafts to produce bigger hail. If you get the low level rotation, then you're talking tornadoes. We still have a low tornado threat, but right now most of these storms are producing hail threats. This one, massive hail east of Waldron, but it looks like in the latest scan it has dropped off. I'm going to take the latest scan off, or I'm going to take the latest scan and keep it on and take off the track so that you can see what happens over time. We had a big downpour of hail there just on the east side of Waldron. This would be, yeah, east of the Pines. I mean, we're deep in the mountains now. Oleo. We're watching some of that hail, but it looks like it's significantly weakening just in the past scan or two. We'll see if it's just cycling. Sometimes these things cycle, but something to watch. Let's go back to Poto. We've had some hail, especially south side. Poto, you've got the big interchange. You've got the Ford dealership. You go down 271. You've got your the county fairgrounds. We've had some hail. You go down towards Ron's Lumber, south towards Howell and Heavener. We've had some of that hail too. Most of it's going to stay on this north side of Poto Mountain and kind of get squeezed right there towards Monroe. And we could get some of that hail near Sugarloaf. So you see the terrain. We've got Sugarloaf, you've got Poto Mountain, hail coming towards us. Kavanaugh back off towards the west. I think we're good from hail from this cell specifically. Most of it's going to stay on its trajectory east and then eventually kind of come in towards Hartford, maybe even Midland. We'll watch for this one. This one is not severe, but it is producing up to about penny or dime-sized hail, so it's still pretty loud there in southern Florida County. You can see the lightning on that storm too. Northwest Arkansas, just a bunch of rain, especially in Benton County. Been very dreary. We've had some reports of some of that rain even making its way into Springdale for Arvest Ballpark. They've got Springfield in town. Very dreary out there trying to set up fireworks. Fireworks have to be shot under 20 miles per hour. We're going to be watching this cold front move in this evening. It's going to pick up that wind to 20 miles per hour. So they're going ahead and set up in case they can fire them off, but we're going to be right at that threshold on fireworks. So we'll have to see. If you're headed to the ballpark, make sure you bundle up. It's not very fun out there right now with temperatures in the upper 60s and very cloudy and some on and off showers, kind of messy and dreary. We've had some moderate rain push over Bentonville and Rogers, but we're not going to be severe north of this stationary front. South of the stationary front, you've got the severe thunderstorm watch. That's all this yellow that backs up west to Lake Eufaula, right over Lake Worcester, and then south and east towards Paris and Mount Magazine. We've got that new severe thunderstorm watch that came out here recently. Originally, it was just centered over LaFleur, Sebastian, and Scott, but it's been expanded because these cells have been pretty nasty. But this is probably our biggest cell now to watch as it comes into Fort Smith. And so we've got to keep an eye on this storm. The one towards the south that originally dropped some hail, this one is weakened a little bit, still severe as it pushes into eastern Scott County, but the storm coming to the south side, Fort Smith, is one to watch for sure. Back west, these storms are good downpours, but it looks like the hail cores have not been as sustained. There is a little bit of lightning back west. I want to take a closer look at it in just a second. This storm right here, coming into Stigler, we'll see if it tries to strengthen. Right now it's struggling a little bit. It's coming in towards the Sequoia Wildlife National Refuge. We already just got hit at the refuge. Now we got another cell coming in, Keota as well. We've got hail. Possibly maybe some small hail with this one, but the larger hail still off towards the east. This is kind of the big kahuna coming into Fort Smith right now. It looks like it's expanded on its heavy rain pocket a little bit farther north. Now it looks like that heavy rain is really going to slam us in Fort Smith. Rain's already falling right now in downtown, but it's about to pour here in another 2 minutes. If you think it's heavy now, just wait another minute or two. It's about to really pick up. It's coming over Roland, Mulder right now, Fort Coffee, Arcoma getting that rain, Pensacola, we're getting that rain too. But especially south side of Fort Smith, watch out for some of that hail. We'll go back to our hail tracker. This shows you the latest scans as we're still watching that hail come in over the river. It still looks to be a bit on the small side, especially for how much lightning is coming out. It is loud over the Arkansas River, very noisy coming into Fort Smith and Arcoma. But the hail is still just tracking. It's going to be in the next scan right over the river. And then it's going to come into Arcoma. We've got all those car dealerships on the south side. We have to watch maybe a little bit of hail coming towards us. And then a little bit of hail coming towards Southside High School. And then you got Northside High School up towards the north. It may be just very rainy and very loud with the rain and lightning, but the hail core may just stay off towards the south. Let's take a look at rotation. Just keep watching. Very disorganized. We have some low-level rotation, but most of the rotation is higher up in this storm, helping to sustain the updrafts and make the hailstones larger. You want updrafts and downdrafts to be separated to create big hail. Of course, we don't want big hail, but that's what rotation does high up, and we have that high up rotation, but we're not getting so much low rotation. That's good. That keeps us safer from the tornado threats. Not zero, but it is low. But as we're looking at some of the low-level rotation right now, pretty weak, but it definitely strengthens once you head higher up into the atmosphere. There's, once again, another look at hail. Let's go ahead and expand. Expand the radar to everyone. All the hail pockets we have on this map are taken off the radar. You don't see the rain, you just see hail. We still have some hail in eastern Scott County. That thing might have upticked just again. Let's take a closer look. It's hard to tell. Nope, still weakening. Okay, still weakening. Headed towards Little Texas and Gravely and Bluffton. It does have rotation? Let's take a look at that rotation. There you go. You do have a pocket on this one. See that one? So I've got my weather team in. Meteorologist Stephen Abshire, he's been monitoring the radar all afternoon. He's been here for hours, and he's been looking at this one. This one does have some rotation. This would be east of Waldron. This is Harvey, Little Texas, and Oleo. Also headed about 30 miles per hour towards the east. Puts us into Little Texas right around 5:59. So right here at about 6 o'clock here in about 9 minutes. Gravely, 6:05, and Bluffton, 6:15. But there's some rotation on this one. And then I bet if you even looked higher up in the atmosphere, it'd be even cranked up even more. Going back to the wide view, that's the only one that kind of stands out. You can see all of them, and this one's the one that definitely stands out. Lots of lightning rotation on this one. Let's take a look at that Poto one. This may be influenced by some of the mountains. Okay, not too bad. And then the storm in northern LaFleur County doesn't look too bad either from rotation, at least low level. But boy, there's a lot of lightning out there. Let's go back. All right. We're going to wrap up. We've got a newscast coming up at 6. We'll give you more updates then. We just wanted to give you an update on the severe thunderstorm that we have in Scott County. Severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped now for Fort Smith. New update. Severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped. But this is a nasty cell coming in east. Lots of lightning, very heavy rain for all of Fort Smith, and even heavier on the south side, coming right in towards the dealerships down Towson, and then 0th Street. We're about to get that heavy rain. It's already raining, but it's about to pour here in a second. We've got heavy rain also on the east side of Poto headed towards Monroe, and then more downpours to the west. I think this is our final round. So once we clear that one, we're done. So hopefully we just stay on the lower end of the severe threat. Severe thunderstorm watch extends until 8 o'clock and has expanded for the entire River Valley. We'll have more updates here in just about 7 minutes with our 6 o'clock news. Darren's got the news ready. We'll get the weather ready. We'll see you there. Make sure you keep it here, keep it local. As always, we'll keep you advised.